Hi guys, I thought I would do for you. So basically I'm just really short on time and I want to see how this is going to work, how it works for me, how it works for you. So please do let me know. This full moon reading, I've been guided not to keep it, not to give it too many definitions, but just have it as a what do I need to know right now reading. I was very drawn to the idea of gaining clarity. So I've got 3 different crystals and they all speak to me of finding clarity in different ways. So this is pole 1. I appreciate it might be backwards depending on, oh, hi lovely. Oh, okay. So yeah, this would be pole 1 and this very much spoke to me. This is a clear quartz sphere. It very much spoke to me of seeing things from a different perspective. So finding clarity by seeing things from a different perspective. And I like to roll away. Put it there. Pile 2. This is the Iceland Spiral. This spoke to me of seeing or finding clarity by basically seeing through any deceptions or illusions. So very much a revealing of truth. So that could be seeing through deceptions of ourselves or others. And again, I wanted to keep it really quite open. So it's not focused on love. It's not focused on career. It's not focused on other kinds of relationships. We'll just see what comes through. So there might be something in multiple piles for you if you feel inclined to watch them. Obviously, if you're watching this live, then you know, you might have to wait for your pile or you can pop that later, but I will upload it. And I'll put in some like time references so you can skip forward to your reading. And obviously because it's like a countdown timer, they kind of go backwards. So bear with me as we work out the best way to format these. But do, you know, let me know how it works for you and how you feel about them. So this one is going to be pile 3. And pile 3 is white howlite. And this very much spoke to me about revealing truth by connecting with your intuition. So I'll go through them again. Pole 1, seeing truth from a different perspective or clarity from a different perspective. Pole 2, finding the truth or clarity by removing any deceptions or illusions. And pole 3, finding the truth by connecting with our intuition. So I'm going to move 2 and 3 aside. And like I said, we'll just see how it works doing it live. Okay, so I did just one oracle card because I want to be able to do runes and whichever card I'm drawn to, and it might be different for each deck. So let's start with this. Arise from the ashes of despair. Interesting. So we've got Chalice Spiral here. There is very much, I mean, the post I put on earlier about the full moon energy, especially after Lionsgate in these 2 amazing full moons in Aquarius that we've had. It's like, it feels like this really incredible time shift that has been a lot longer than it has, but it's only been like 4 weeks, I don't know. I referenced the phoenix earlier. It's definitely that energy of rising through the ashes like the phoenix. Rising from the ashes of despair means you could be moving on from a very difficult situation. The fact that I was very drawn to choose this crystal for this card is saying to me that there could be a way, a shift in perspective, and I'm getting intuitively this might come in the form of a message, guidance of some kind that comes through from another person, but I'm also getting quite a dreamy, watery energy from this. So, I mean, I'm getting a Pisces, so there could be a Pisces connection here, just for one of 2 of you. But also just this, that somebody else could be coming forwards to offer you a message, or it could come through in your dream space as quite healing energy. So let's go through. Let's do some runes first. Again, I don't know how well these will show up live, but let's see. And apologies for the noise because this does get really loud. The pile 1s, please. What's shifting for pile 1s, please? As always, I'll just take any that land face down and remove them because I'm not going to read them for the purpose of this reading. And then I will just arrange them into a grid and I'll tell you what to say. And I'll keep them in the positions in that they're in, whether they're upright, reversed, Merc stave, whichever. Yeah, I don't think you're going to see those. Let's see if I can adjust my light a little. Maybe that's a bit better. Just conscious of any glare as well. Okay. So, arising from the ashes of despair. I feel like you're going to suddenly get... It could be that there is some kind of change in your life. Something shifts. This could be some kind of internal shift. And again, we've got answers here, which isn't quite in the upright position, and Canas, which isn't quite in the upright position. These two both speak to me of a temporary feeling of disconnection with our intuition. And what I'm getting here quite strongly is that something is going to shift. And I feel like that it's like a feeling of a shake-up, because you've got Nauthiz and Hagalaz here, and Iraz as well. So this is very much some kind of energetic shake-up, or something that comes into your life. It could be actually that something leaves your life. So it could be that something that has caused quite a lot of difficulty suddenly leaves. It could be that something that has been causing, I don't want to say disruption. It's like one cycle, one challenging cycle is ending. It's leaving your life, and it's making way for something new. Now this could be... I'm feeling it's definitely like a bit of a sort of an interruption, a disruption, some kind of upheaval, but I don't see this as... perhaps there is... Okay, pulling this all together, it's like this feeling that there is this sudden kind of situation, or something that's already happened perhaps. You could have been navigating this energy. For some of you, definitely it's like moving house, but unexpectedly. Some kind of sure thing that you thought was in place doesn't come together. I'm just getting that there could have been like a loss of some kind, but I'm feeling like this is a physical thing. I'm feeling like very... you know, like in our material realm rather than our relationships, because relationships are actually looking pretty good. What I'm getting is it's like this is you moving on from that difficult, challenging energy now, and what we're shifting into is something. We're not quite at a full strength yet, but we are seeing the light. We've got Savilo here and Ido, which isn't quite in the upright. So this is definitely seeing the light and being ready to move forwards. Now, Eros is upright here next to Daggers. So I'm feeling, for some of you, there is definitely some kind of renewed energy within an existing relationship, partnership. It could be that this sudden seeing things from a new perspective is shifting you into a much better cycle. I'm getting with your energy, it's like you might have more energy, you might be able to go out and do more things, you might feel more productive, you just might feel like you have more to offer others, is what's coming through to me. You might suddenly have more to offer others, whereas you felt quite closed off before. And it's like whatever's shifting you out of this energy, yeah, you're definitely finding some kind of renewed strength. For some of you, I'm getting that you might well be energy workers yourself. You might read for people yourself. You might, you know, have healing services that you do. And it was like you had to pull back a little bit. But now you're feeling much more like it at full strength. And I can just see you with this, this energetic relationship is definitely strengthening again. And this is like the beginning stages of your rising from the ashes of despair, you know, of rising as the phoenix. It's these things were processed, you know. I know it can be a really dramatic image, the thought of, you know, like rising from the ashes, but, you know, realistically speaking, sometimes that can take a little bit of time. It can take a few days, weeks, months, you know, even years sometimes to pull ourselves back. If we've genuinely been in the ashes of despair, if we've been through a spate of, you know, struggling with our mental health, depression, severe anxiety, major life overhauls and upheavals, you know, that truly can take time to recover from. And I feel like I feel like things are beginning to shift. There is some kind of welcome and an unexpected change that comes in that shifts you out of things, and all you're being asked to do is to see things from a new perspective. And I'm feeling like very much this is seeing the opportunity in what has passed, in the things that might not have worked out, and in everything that is going to come through for you. I mean, being called to the Viking Oracle. So let's get some Viking Oracle cards for you. I'm quite enjoying doing these live because it means I can have a little bit more time. I mean, naturally, I do have a house full of little people that are asleep, but, you know, might have to go suddenly, should I need to. But it's nice because there isn't a time limit, and I was flapping in the first live thinking there was a time limit, but yeah, it shows how long it's been since I've been alive. Okay, so any clarifying energies, manners in the reverse. Ragnarok, yep. This is this personal upheaval. And I think in the beginning, I feel... I'm going to get a couple more... Yeah, I'm going to get a couple more cards. I was going to say there was more that wanted to come through. Yeah. Okay. There is definitely some major changes coming through. And I feel like you were not expecting these. I feel like it could well have already happened. For some of you, certainly, this is kind of like a journey. This is telling me there is some kind of, literally a breaking down of the old way of life. Something where it's almost like you feel like you lose yourself, you lose your identity, understanding who you are and how you can represent who you are within the world with manners in reverse. It could have been sudden, it could have been unexpected, it could have felt literally like the crumbling away of everything, but through it all you come back to Skadi, to finding your own energy, to finding your truth, to finding your strength, to understanding exactly who you are. And this is going to literally, this energy literally put you where you needed to be. And again, speaking of journeys and about things taking time, sometimes we don't know exactly the timing that sometimes the timing doesn't make sense at the time, and it's only on reflection that we can look at things and go, oh wow, that suddenly makes perfect sense. You know, you can, when you're in it, you are so in it that things are overwhelming, and you just have to deal with the moment to moment, day to day, as these issues arrive, especially when we're dealing with this kind of chaotic, almost apocalyptic energy where we just feel like we've lost everything. And I might be being quite dramatic in that, but you might look at a situation now that could have happened recently, and now look at it and go, okay, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was, but at the time, fully validating my experience, it felt like the end of the world. And now you've come to a deepening understanding of self. Whenever this card comes out, I feel very strongly inclined to reference Skadi and her marriage to Njord, and how they remained married, but she knew she was from the mountains. Njord obviously lived in the sea. She couldn't live in the sea. She apparently hated the smell of seaweed and many other things. And she just decided that she was going to return to the mountains, but the two gods remained married. And that was just what she did. And that took a great deal of courage and knowing of herself. So when this card comes out, especially in a position like this, at the end of a sequence like this, it speaks to me so strongly of this kind of awakening, personal discovery through this chaos. And I feel like that's what seeing this new perspective is. So for some of you, it could be that changes are coming in. For others of you, all of this energy is literally seeing that new perspective now, to realize what this journey has all been about. And that is where we're headed. That was why this was so important. Where they wanted me to go. So what is the key things? Let's get yeah. Let's get an energy archetype card first from the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. And then we will get the healing messages. No, okay, they want me to do it the other way around. We'll do it the other way around. I shuffled already. So what has this all been about? For pile one, please. What has this all been about? Galactic guidance, star family, assistance, cooperation. Sanctuary. Okay. Healing, comfort, faith and restoration. It's almost like whatever this was, as it could have pushed you away from a lot of people. It could have cost you a lot of people. It could have just changed your circumstances. For some of you, you could have moved countries. For others of you, you could have moved across the country. For some of you, it was just this complete and utter change of life. For some of you, it could have been the change of a job, something that you so strongly identified with. For others of you, a relationship. But there's this strong sense of personal identification around this community, place, relationship or job. And what's shifting is for everything that we might have lost, we came to this, or are coming to this stronger sense of self-understanding, and that is bringing us to align more deeply with the people, the places and the experiences that make us feel like we're at home, that feel like home. With Sanctuary here, it's calling you to go to the places or the people that make you feel at peace. You know, this could be out in nature, it could be a close friend, it could be somewhere you visited with family, you know, any of these things. It's like going and being within that energy is just going to help you really navigate and heal through some of these challenges, and to help you complete the cycle. For some of you, yeah, there's definitely a starseed, you know, and particularly Pleiadian essence here, that might resonate with some of you. I'm getting very strongly that you can just call upon your support team, whoever they may be for you, your God's guides, ancestors, your angels if you have them, whatever resonates for you. You know, you can call upon them if you are feeling lost, if you are feeling isolated, and know that you are not alone. But definitely I'm feeling this whole reading has felt more about the material world, about our material realm. So definitely seek out the people, places, things, experiences and physical geographical locations that make you feel at home. There's a really strong feeling of like a pervasive feeling coming through with this reading of relocation or different geographical locations. So that may resonate with some of you. Let's get an energy archetype card here for what you, let's ask what we can step into right now to assist us, what energies can best support us at this time with this transition, transformation. Well, that was a whole load, wasn't it? Okay. Queen of Earth. Now, what did I say? Such a strong feeling of focus on the material realm. It just keeps coming through as an energy. You know, you can feel it. This is focusing on our abundance, where we feel in our abundant self. It's very, very Taurian energy. And it's something that I know quite well. I'm a Sun, Moon, Taurus, for any of you that didn't know. The Queen of Earth in this regard, she is, Taurian energy is very much about the comforts of life, about luxury, about feeling nurtured, supported by our environment, by the things that we have around us. And I know that for some of you that might sound quite materialistic, but it isn't necessarily materialistic. It is about the quality of the experience we have and interactions with our surrounding environment. So this can be being immersed in nature and being fully present with it. You know, I'm terrible for this. If I go out into nature and I'm like, ooh, take a picture of that, ooh, take a picture of that, rather than fully taking a moment to breathe it in. And what I'm getting from this, it's how we relate to what we have. This is about how we relate to what we have, what is around us. Are we seeing the beauty in all that we have, especially if we've been through this major shift in circumstances? Perhaps we're not exactly where we want to be, but being able to see the beauty in everything that we have massively amplifies our experience, our well-being, it raises our dominant vibration, our base level vibration, and then we attract more of the things that we're appreciating. It attracts better, it attracts just that higher frequency that we are already vibrating at, if that makes any sense. I've really explained that badly, sorry. It's being grateful for what we have and knowing that the universe will send us more of that, because that's where we're vibing at. So we then, these were interesting. This feels like the weight of the world may have fallen on your shoulders. You can see he's got a yoke here. He's very, again, it's another Earth card. It's the Six of Earth. So the Six of Pentacles, this would be, it's very much about keeping things in balance. It's being able to work and knowing that we've got everything, you know, sorted out. I'm really getting like single parent, single person vibes, just feeling like you're on your own, and it's like having to do things all by yourself. You may or may not be in that position or situation, but you might feel that way. You might feel like you have literally got everything that you've got to do. And you can see here he's got these shackles on, this yoke upon his back, and he's shackled to this yoke, but he's got a padlock around his neck, and he's also got the key. And again, this is exactly the energy I was picking up from this card. It's, you know, the weight of the world, the weight of responsibility of having to provide, especially if you've got to provide for others, or to nurture self, to literally keep a roof over your head for some of you, to find work. It could be feeling like a huge amount of pressure. But it's the reference to the lock and the key and the yoke here. And again, with the Queen of Earth, it's telling us to come back to that as positive a vibration as we possibly can, to show gratitude, and to, I don't want to say that in a really trite way, because if you're not feeling that, it's a really hard thing to do, and it feels disingenuous. It doesn't honor our experience. But being able to again, if you saw the beginning of this reading, to shift our perspective is seeing how where we are right now might not be where we want to be, but if we've got a roof over our head, if we've got, you know, a full belly, these things are to be celebrated. We can be grateful for them. With the child here, this is a return to our childlike innocence, and I feel like these two energies are opposing. The Queen of Earth is almost finding the balance between them. It's remembering the essence of work as play, of life as play. When was the last time that you actually played? You know, children don't need permission to play. They just go and play. They just go and have fun. They literally just go and enjoy their lives. And as adults, that is something that we very swiftly lose. We feel the weight of this yoke upon our back, and we lose that childlike innocence of pleasure, of joy, of play. It's balancing the essence of both of these within the Queen of Earth energy of feeling grateful for the abundance that we already have, so that we can attract more, so that we can attract better. I'm just being guided as to where we should go next. Goddess energy. So to finish them pile wands, what is the energy that we can call upon to really help us shift through this time, to assist us on this journey around this full moon? Ocean, generosity in the reverse. And another, please. Mary, miracles. Okay, this is quite clear for me. If we feel like we're in lack, if we feel like we don't have anything to offer or for anything to give, you know, for some of us, we might not have anything to physically give, especially relating to our material realm. For some of you, you know, we could be really struggling or just feeling like we don't have anything to offer, but there are things that we can give out into the world that are completely free. Our time, our energy. And I know, you know, I'm a self-employed woman. Time isn't necessarily free, but we can give our time for free. We can give our energy for free. We can smile at somebody. We can, you know, just share a compliment with them. These are the sorts of free things that we can do, that we can give and give out positive energy into the world. And you know that the universal law of balance, we don't do that to get it back, but it's amazing what we attract back when we can go out there with that mindset and just go and give people what we have to offer for free and just share the beauty that is, you know, our life and our experience. Mary Miracles, I feel like this is calling you to believe that things can change. For some of you, if you're feeling very stuck and have been feeling very stuck because everything has changed, especially if you have been in this sense of despair or going just through a really hard time, or you've been struggling with depression and things, you know, it's like believing in miracles, believing that change can happen, believing that your circumstances can change. If you were telling yourself daily that everything is going to remain the same, then that is what you're literally affirming into existence. And it's not that we, I don't like to say that in a way that sort of it insinuates any kind of blame upon us, but it's believing, and again, being conscious of the energy that we're putting out there. The universe does reciprocate in weird ways. It's quite fluid, and it's just reminding me that you put good energy out and you do receive good energy back. It's believing in miracles, and I feel like Scuddy is really here to support you. For some of you, you could notice that things, that there could definitely be a steady improvement up until winter. Winter could be significant for you. I was getting Pisces energy at the beginning, but some of you could have a birthday in the winter months or meet somebody important during the winter months again, because I was getting at the beginning of this reading that you could get some kind of message from somebody. Somebody could be coming forward to you with some kind of clarity through a shifting perspective, and it could be that this takes up into the winter months for you, because I kept being drawn to the timescales at this beginning of this reading as well, and how it's not necessarily you know, a couple of days or a week that things take to shift. It really does take time, and sometimes for our greatest growth is, you know, it's a lifelong journey. That's why we're here. But some things just take time, and it's being gentle and patient with yourself, and appreciating what you have, and appreciating the beauty of what you have and where you are in that moment. So pile ones, I'm going to leave it there for you. I hope you enjoyed that reading. I'm going to shuffle, clear, and then I will move on to pile 2. So again, let me know how you're feeling about this, how you're feeling about the lives. Then it's just a bit easier for me to do them this way. But we'll see. It is a bit easier for me to do it today just because of my current workload and time restrictions. But just let me know what you think. For those of you that's still here, there's 3 of you that are still here. That is so lovely. I appreciate it's a bit of a funny one when you do these live, because, you know, nobody has all day to sit around and listen to me talking. And you could be waiting for pile 3 and it could take me over an hour to get there. So don't expect anybody to hang around. It's lovely if you're here and you're enjoying it. But I will upload it so you can watch it in a non-live format. What I might do is download the video, edit it so that it's the right way round, so that the cards are the right way round, and then upload it to YouTube as well, because I need to find some better ways of creating these readings and sharing them across multiple places. So thanks for bearing with me whilst I did that. Been called for a bit of sage, just to clear the energy and to break it up a little. I hope you're all having nice Fridays as well. Oh, okay. Thank you, Intune Intuitives. I really appreciate that. Energetically, it makes a difference. That's really interesting. It's really nice as a reader to be able to read live and to not worry about the time limits, if I'm honest with you. With if I put them onto IGTV, even if I do them as individual readings, I have only 15 minutes, and that's, if you've ever had a private reading from me, I often overrun, which isn't very good, but it is good at the same time. Okay, so pile 2. I was intuitively drawn to the Iceland Spa, the Viking Sunstone. This was finding clarity by seeing through any deceptions or illusions. And again, this could be through outer deceptions or inner deceptions and illusions. So with that in mind, let's see your oracle card. Let peace prevail. Love conquers death. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Okay, pile 2. I'm just intuitively getting that you could have been dealing with some rough energy and some challenging people, and being called for you to come back to your peace and your inner peace and really hold firm in that. It could be a real challenge, but it's like what we're being called to do. Even though we can see through what's been going on, it's like choosing peace. Okay, let's get your runes pile 2. Apologies for the noise. Okay. Again, I'll just take any that land face down, remove them from the table, and then I'll arrange them into a grid. I'm going to reserve judgment until I've got them all aligned. There's a lot of runes in a row there. I'm going to keep those 2 because they came out on top of each other. Looks like. Oh, what have we got going on here? I'm coming in fast with answers and then Graz here. This is definitely this seeing the truth. This is building upon the truth that we have unveiled. And seeing the blessing. It's like, I feel like there is something that you weren't expecting to see, perhaps. This for some of you, it can very much be a revelation. For some of you, it's just been this slow unveiling of something to you to bring you to a deeper sense of awareness. But whatever it is, it's kickstarting a brand new cycle. And absolutely, this is shifting you in a direction for a very positive reason. This is seeing the truth and knowing that this truth is not just there hitting you in the face, but it's steering you in the right direction. It could be a course correction, a change in cycle, a change in, I'm getting your personal circumstances, but I'm getting in your literal routine, in like the day-to-day routine, the ways in which you express and expend your energy, is what they're wanting me to say. Embarking upon a whole new cycle, and that might not feel necessarily familiar to you. I'm getting with Athala, that's not, it's kind of Merkstave, so it's kind of on its side. It's seeing very strongly, or feeling, it's not seeing, this is feeling. It's feeling this shift within our life, feeling this shift in our energy. It's feeling different. This is feeling different. Things may feel different, and it's understanding. What is it they want me to say? It's understanding it might not be what you would have expected, but it's definitely for your benefit. And it's like a new way of doing or seeing something. It takes you away from this expected, away from a version of certainty about something that you had, that shifts you into a brand new level of something. It could be a level up. But for some of you, quite literally, it could have been the end of a relationship, if I'm quite honest with you. You know, there could have been, especially if you're female, there could have been a relationship that ended, and this doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. It could be connected to work. It could be a friendship, a close friendship. But it was like something ran aground. there was some kind of disruption. I guess I'm getting, for some of you, this won't be for all of you, there was some dishonesty about money. There was dishonesty about some kind of investment that took place. There could have been a business partnership where somebody was not completely upfront about where things were, and they intentionally miscommunicated with you. And what this did, this held you back for an awful long time. It kept you very, very stuck and very, very still. But what I'm saying here, that is that predominant energy. For others of you, it's that personal circumstances have kept you feeling very stuck. They've kept you feeling financially restricted. And what I'm getting here is that you're finally seeing the truth of the situation, that whatever it is that you've been involved in, you are now walking away from. It's whatever that you were stuck in, whether it was a job or a relationship that was really, really holding you back. You are now moving on from it, but definitely there is a female energy here that has been wronged by somebody, financially, and there is just this level of dishonesty that went on, and it was like the guides and the ancestors here are saying it's like we couldn't prevent this situation from happening. This is almost like a situation that you have to go through sometimes. Sometimes the quickest way to share or kind of bring the most effective life lessons to you is to take you through something. And it's not, I don't think anybody would want us to go through things that way, but sometimes it's the most effective way of us to learn a lesson in order to move on. For some of you, there could have been gambling here. Somebody could have been a gambler, and it wasn't very successful, and it caused an awful lot of friction. It could have been a family member that, you know, got into quite a lot of debt through gambling, and it's just caused complete and utter disruption through a family. For others of you, actually, it could have been addiction. There could have been addiction issues here, which could have been extremely debilitating to a family unit. And it's like seeing the truth here. I feel like this is seeing the truth and making hard decisions. And it's almost like here with Manas in the reverse and Nathis and Urus in the reverse. Urus isn't quite fully in the reverse. We have these three energies, and I'm just getting that there is perhaps decisions that you either didn't want to make or haven't wanted to make yet, or didn't know how to make, and it was this feeling of being ungrounded and knowing that something needs to shift and to change, but not knowing what to do. And I feel like the inspiration, the wisdom, the sudden insight, this seeing of the truth, the unveiling of the truth, the seeing through the deceptions and the illusions and the dishonesty, all of a sudden that's going to come through, and it could be in quite a powerful moment, but it's going to shift, and from that point you're going to be able to move forwards, and eventually you're going to see how this new cycle is going to work better for you. And it could mean that suddenly leaving things behind, but what I'm getting more clearly is not you focusing on these other people's energies so much, and it's really focusing on yourself moving forwards, and new beginnings from revealing this wisdom. So I'm being called to the tarot this time. So another beauty of doing these live is just that I can, you know, more fluidly pick whichever cards feel right at the time. So let's get some more clarity for pile twos, please. For some of you, I'm being pulled back to the addiction issues again, and it's like you could have heard whatever this person said so many times over, and suddenly you see the truth. And for others of you, it could be somebody that's cheated repeatedly, or has just been dishonest to you repeatedly. Interesting. Wow. Now I'm going to try and read this in multiple different ways, because when you have two cards like the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Cups come out, you immediately think love. And I don't want to just read it that way, because that's a very literal meaning. I feel like with the Magician in the center, the gift of this experience, whether this is something that you are in awareness of now or will come into awareness of in due course as this cycle progresses, as you heal through this experience, is being able to discern between when somebody's coming towards you with, you know, kind of a flash in the pan kind of an energy, might be acting on impulse and not really thinking through what they're doing. And this could be you, you know, this could be seeing the truth of ourselves, trusting our own impulses if we've had addiction issues, or if we've had gambling issues, or, you know, if we've got a habit of taking risks, or being impulsive. It's seeing between that and taking a more gentle and heart-centered approach to what it is that we're moving towards. So for some of us, this is being able to discern between the people coming towards us and what they're saying to us, whether or not they're being impulsive and, I don't want to say disingenuous, but might not necessarily have the grounded energy to see through and to put action where the words are. And so being able to see that through that, and somebody who's going to honestly and genuinely come through and communicate. Now, for the first time ever on this card, this happens every so now and again, and I do love how detailed these cards are for exactly this reason. I'm being drawn to the winged boots, and I'm pretty sure that was Hermes, messenger of the gods, in the Greek mythos. Now, Hermes is also Mercury, and we are headed into Mercury retrograde in September. I can't remember the date exactly, but I'm pretty sure it's September. This is saying to me two things. This is definitely could be about communication and being able to see the truth, and discern. I'm getting more clearly discern the truth in how somebody communicates with you. So whether or not they are just saying what you want to hear, and you've been through this cycle many times, or whether you know somebody is genuinely communicating from the heart. And I feel like that is going to be a really big thing. But again, this could be reflective of our own energy and whether or not we are perhaps impulsively reacting to something, or genuinely from a very heart-centered place deciding that we are going to commit and ground into something. And the second message I was getting from this card was that Mercury retrograde could be particularly significant for you in terms of timing. I just noticed as well, it's like he's pointing at the shoes, so no wonder I noticed them. Definitely Mercury retrograde could be very, very significant for you in September. I will check out the dates and obviously do some more energy updates on those, but I want to get a bit more on this. What is this unveiling of the truth for? What is it helping us with? Pile twos, please. Okay, what else do we need to know here? Yeah. Anything else, please? This is about rebuilding. The Three of Pentacles is about rebuilding. Yeah. Rebuilding. Being the architect of our own life is what I'm getting here. Oh, yeah. As I said that, we had the Empress. The emphasis here is on building. It is on construction. Is it about working together with people to construct? It could be to repair a relationship, to repair a family unit, to repair damage that has been done. Now, it's going to take all three of these people to work together in order to build this true cathedral in full strength so that it lasts and endures. So I'm getting very strongly that this could be a time, this unveiling of the truth could literally be not a tower moment, but an opportunity to reflect, because it doesn't feel drastic like that. It's just, it feels like you in a very coming to strength, in fact. With the Empress here, it's like coming to your strength. It's not like a tower falling at all. It's like you rising. It's you rising rather than a tower falling, which is really powerful energy. No longer feeling frustrated and confused about whatever hand you may have been dealt in the past. And not feeling, I don't want to just say fed up, because that seems like a poor use of vocabulary, to be honest. Not feeling apathetic at what you've received. but seeing the wisdom that you've gained from it and how it's brought you to this newfound strength. The Empress is completely secure all on her own. She has got all of her material world all sound out. She's sat on her throne. Often that she looks pregnant. She doesn't actually look pregnant in this card, but there's a strong emphasis on Venus here. I'm going to have to go back and see what's going on with Venus over the coming months, because I truly am not that aware at this moment. But I feel like this situation is gifting you with the opportunity to rebuild something, and whether that is to rebuild your own self-esteem after your disappointment so that you can come back to this Empress, or whether it's you finding your strength so that you can almost take a leadership role, or to take charge. And I don't mean that in a negative way, you know, like I'm going to take control of this whole situation, but saying, no, do you know what? I think there's a way that we can sort this out, and we're going to have to work together, and we're going to have to get over these disappointments and the situations that have been, in order so that we can work together and rebuild. And whatever happens, you will know that you did that in your strength and your best energy. And I really truly feel like this is what this situation has been about for you, whatever this unveiling of truth was for you. What was the bottom of the deck? The Strength in reverse, and interesting because the very bottom of rune is Uruz in the reverse as well. So what this is saying to me is, if you're underneath it, yeah, it's like you might not be in this Empress energy yet. You might be in the process of the truth being revealed. And again, as I was getting with pole 1 and the whole energy around these full moons, is that time feels like it's either going really fast or really slow, both at the same time, things just being weird. You might not feel in this place right now. You might not feel in full strength right now. But what we're learning through this experience is a very much deeper understanding of people, of our own energy, of the skills that we have, of how to discern energy and truth from a situation to bring us back to our strength. And it doesn't matter whether or not you are male or female. The Empress energy, or however you identify, you know, the Empress energy is an energy. It's an archetypal energy. It's not a specific gender. It's just something that you embody. And again, I'm just getting a very gentle but firm, secure, well-guided, intuitive sort of leadership here, presiding over whether you're rebuilding alone or whether you're rebuilding with others. But we had the Two of Wands in the reverse as well, and I just feel like if you're not feeling in that energy currently, which many of you probably aren't, because I feel like there is still obviously situations going on, because these are connected to people that we care about or are close to, or sort of leashed to in some way. It's like you are not in a place to make a decision right now, or you don't feel like you have the strength to make the decision right now. You might not have all the facts you need to make a decision right now, and this can be what's coming to the surface. So let's get some healing messages for you now. I'm getting a Gods and Titans card, actually. Healing messages for... Alright, you wanted to be that way around. Healing messages for pile 2s, please. Okay, let's open. Transformation and an awakening. Yeah, absolutely. This is what's shifting. This is you awakening to the truth, awakening and seeing the truth in situations, or awakening to an understanding of self that perhaps a challenging relationship has kept you from, or you've just not been fully able to embrace at the moment, or recently, or perhaps ever in your life, because you're transforming and metamorphosizing into a completely new energy, a completely deeper understanding of self. And this is really, really powerful. I'm getting, for all of the other energies that have been involved in this, it's bringing you back to you. And that's why this letting peace prevail. It threw me a bit, because this was not the energy that I was getting. If I'm honest with you, intuitively, this was not the energy I was getting, and that's why I looked at it for a minute like, But what I'm getting here, in the moment, in the now moment, because there is a lot of people involved, there's lots of different energies I'm feeling, lots of different potential relationships. The way that we transform through this and come to our greatest strength, come to our Empress energy, is by finding our inner peace. And that doesn't mean that we just put up with things, because the Empress in her strength does not just put up with things that she doesn't like, but in that moment, in her sense of inner peace, in her non-reactive or sulking state, she can find her strength and she can decide which course of action she's going to take. And I feel like finding that moment of calm, of peace, of allowing this truth to filter through is going to be what changes and what shifts for you. I just want to finish with a Gods and Titans card. There we go. Mithras, sacrifice. Okay, let's get another. It's that Greek energy again. Just one more, please, Spirit. One more, please. No? Okay, we'll take that one. Zeus, leadership. Haha! What was I just saying about that Greek energy? For some of you, you could have a connection to Greece, because the Hermes connection has never come through the Knight of Cups before. But the winged helmet and the winged boots, definitely. There is a very strong Grecian, Spartan connection to this. However that may resonate with you or not. I'm just going to take a sip of water. But this is definitely, when I think of ancient Greece, I think of the birth of democracy, of being able to rationally debate, to be able to air these sort of really important topics in their truth, in their honesty, and to be able to get it all out on the table and to be able to decide how it is that you're going to move forwards. That's what I get. That's what's coming through to me through these two cards. Again, with the leadership. And I told you, I kept getting leadership from the Empress. And that's not come through in that way before. But it feels like a very balanced kind of a leadership. And it's knowing how to move forwards. The fact that sacrifices come through, I'm going to see this and read this as compromise. There isn't a compromise in this deck, I don't think, off the top of my head. I have used it for years, but it's coming through more as compromise, meaning both people might have to sacrifice. Any situation, any relationship, any kind of agreement where only one person is sacrificing and giving is not fair. It's not equal. And that needs to be looked into. That needs to be assessed. You know, a good leader will never ask somebody to give everything up so that they can lead them. A good leader, whether this is two people taking leadership over the situation so it can be rebuilt, it's coming into balance with each other within all the different viewpoints. And, you know, realistically, if everything has been aired and you can't make an agreement without somebody having to sacrifice everything, you know, sometimes these difficult decisions have to be made, and sometimes pathways suddenly do become clear. So, Pile 2s, I'm going to leave it there for you. I hope that was a good reading for you. I'm just going to clear the decks and give them a shuffle. And I will sage, and then I will move on to Pile 3s. And again, I know if you've just jumped on, because I know lots of people have jumped on during the course of this reading. And again, I will be uploading them fully, both onto YouTube and as an IGTV, but obviously it will be a long one. So you will be able to catch it again if you've missed your reading, or threw a rune off the table. Which one was it? Oh, I threw a rune off the table that I hadn't seen. Oh, had I seen? No, I had seen. I thought it was Legos then, but it's not. Pile 2s. I feel like this is an extra little message because I don't even know how I flicked that off from the table from there. Definitely trust your intuition. Trust any messages that are coming through to you from, I'm getting in particular clairaudience. So if you suddenly have an idea about a place, a thing, something like that, something that hasn't come through before, then, you know, tune into that, listen to that. Okay. Just noticed that I didn't pick up the rest of them from there. We'll shuffle them because I don't know if I need to use those for Pile 3s. And I do shuffle all the decks before I use them anyway, but I just like to give them a shuffle in betweeny. You're there. Okay. Let's just get these in the shuffle that way. I don't know if anyone's been here from the beginning, but if you have, thank you. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, that must have been a message for you. That must have been a message. That was, I nearly turned that over then. Yes, I love it when things like that happen, because it's so, sometimes things like that, I mean, I can't share some of the really crazy things that happen in readings sometimes because they're really deeply personal, and obviously it's confidential to my clients. But the things that come through sometimes that are so specific, and with things jumping around or whatever, it blows my mind. So I'm glad that that was a good final message for you. Okay, let's get some sage. Whilst I'm doing this, does anyone else have sage preferences? I very much have sage preferences. I've got several different types of sage. And one of my absolutely favourites, the Californian white sage. And it's funny because I've made sage bundles myself from my own sage, but I always seem to come back to the Californian white sage. Okay. Pile 3. This was very much about seeing the truth by, oh, and you're clairaudient as well. I love it. Sorry, pile 3. So this is very much about seeking the truth and finding the truth through connecting with your intuition. So, around this full moon, what have we got? Create, activate your DNA. Beneath the veil of Sophia, yeah. Now, Sophia, again, we've got lots of ancient Greek energy coming through. Sophistry is a philosophical term, and it means wisdom. And I think Sophia was the goddess of wisdom, or maybe not a goddess, maybe that's not the right word, but I just remember studying her. Create and activate your DNA. I feel like this is coming to a deeper sense of self-awareness. I feel like this is definitely, I mean, it is entirely possible to activate your DNA by traveling to different lands, traveling to different places. If you've got ancestry there, you can suddenly feel very activated. On the flip side, you can feel very, very called to travel to these places. So you can suddenly feel very, very called to go to a particular place, and that can be to literally to activate your DNA, or it can be an ancestral call, it can be a soul call. And I feel inclined to mention this right now, because I hear a lot of racist and see a lot of racist things, particularly within sort of heathen networks sometimes, and thankfully it is the minority. But you can have a soul ancestry and a sort of like a soul memory of a culture or people that you've never, that you don't have necessarily a genetic connection to. And I don't think whichever way, if you're called to something, if you're called to study, to experience, to visit, to travel somewhere, you know, follow that and go and experience it. You know, research it. What's the worst that can happen? Let's see. Okay, pile 3. Let's see your runes for you. As always, I'll take out any that land face down. So not going to be used for the purpose of this reading. Interesting that we've got 3 at top there. First of all, when I saw those top 3 runes, I thought immediately there had been some kind of difficult ending. But what I'm seeing more is this feeling that you almost need... Is it an end or a change? No, it feels like an ending. It's almost like you feel like you need to put a stop to something. Stop to something that has been questioning... No, it's definitely feeling the need to end something that has been standing between you, in the way of you and happiness. It's knowing that there is a big change here, and almost like a risk that needs to be taken. I feel like you know that whatever it is you need to end could be a risk, but whatever it is, it's stepping you forwards in a new direction. There's definitely a great deal of resistance. I'm getting energetic resistance in terms of physical action. I feel like energetically or emotionally, perhaps, you feel very, very ready, or no, there is this deep sense of inner knowing is what I'm getting. And this could be somewhat inexplicable to the outer world. There could be little point of reference on the outside. Yeah, very, very much. I don't see you taking action at this moment, or it's like you haven't taken action yet. There is just this feeling, and I feel like this feeling has just been growing. This feeling has just been growing, and it's a risk. You don't know which way your happiness will go, whether or not this risk will pay off and you will feel much happier, or whether actually it will make you unhappy. Because I feel like there's, for whoever is involved in this, if there's multiple people, I'm getting you looking more at, and I don't think this is in a selfish way, I feel like this is you taking a chance on your happiness and being worried about whether or not this is the right decision. Energetically and emotionally, I feel like you know what you want to do. Physically, I don't think you're ready to take action. That is literally the let's get the other runes over the top. I love these. These are one of my favourite sets, and these are excellent for reading deeper subconscious energy. Let's get what's going on in the subconscious here. Okay. Yeah. For some of you, it could definitely mean ending a relationship or the end of a relationship. It could have been starting a new relationship after a relationship that ended quite badly. And there is a choice here. It's either a choice to remain stuck or to... I don't say this flippantly. I don't say this flippantly at all. There are just two very clear pathways. I don't want to say two very clear choices. I think there could be 10,000 choices and different ways you could move forwards. But there is two potential very clear pathways. One is to stay stuck, and the other is to sort of step forward into the unknown. We have canals here, and I'm getting, you know, this whole stone screamed to me of finding clarity by tuning in with our intuition. This is definitely looking within. For some of you, you need to meditate, you need to take some time, connect with your ancestors, go through your ritual, go through what you need to do in order to reconnect and to allow that wisdom. For some of you, yes, there was either a breakup here or you were considering a breakup, and whatever it is, whichever way, it was definitely a risk or will be a risk, and you just don't know whether it's the right decision. What I see here, interestingly, the way these are positioned, these is Tiwaz, Fehu and Ingvaz, just beneath Perthro and sort of in this little nook. The deeper subconscious energy is wanting to find our inner balance through a new beginning so we can move into a more abundant future. That is the crux of that. And knowing that we need to go with the flow of this energy and begin to take action. We need to find the strength to move forwards, and we need to grasp a hold of this inspiration and this positive energy while it's here, so that we can do so, because we've got Turisas in there upright here. And again, it's not the reading of this rune, but it's an arrow pointing that way, and it's almost saying to me, when you know, when you have made your decision, when you are aligned, when it feels right, when you feel, I'm saying this, but with all these pathros on the table and the whole energy of resistance, you might just suddenly get a nudge where it just feels right. Or it might be that this energy, these rising energies, just become too loud to ignore, and you make your decision. whatever decision that may be, whichever path you're going to take. But at that point, I feel like you're going to commit to it. But there is definitely, at the heart of this, there is this deep, deep desire to find balance between it's really embracing the potential of this future. And I feel like a new relationship that is far more balanced. For some of you, I'm just going to say it as I see it, and I'm sorry, this isn't for everybody, and I don't want to trigger anybody. For some of you, this could be a choice between two different people and two different relationships. Ingvars on its sides is like two Gibu. And two Gibu, to me in this position, it's just what they're saying. It's just expressing to me that there could be two potential people, two potential love offers. And it's like trying to choose between them. One might make more financial sense. One might make you more happy. And it's making a decision between them. But for others of you, this is finding balance between the life that you want and feeling secure and stable. Where are we going with this one? Okay. I am really getting there might be a love component to this reading. I did say at the very beginning, like, I didn't want to sort of bring in too many limitations. You know, if you are definitely not focused on love and this is not resonating with you at all, please feel free to choose a different reading. You know, choose a different pile if you feel inclined. But pile 3s, please, Spirit. What do we need to know for pile 3s? The Fool, and it flipped out on its side. I only read this deck upright. It's just the way that I've always read this deck in particular. And it always speaks to me of love and that kind of thing. You want the new beginning. You just don't know which way to go. You want that new beginning. You just don't know which way to go yet. So you've been in this space where you've just been considering your options. You've been resting. For some of you, this is quite a Taurian energy, and I don't mean any disrespect to anybody. It's just the visual that I'm getting because, you know, I do get like visuals for people as well. It's that idea of being in bed and just like, I don't want to deal with it today. I don't want to face it. I'm just going to put my head under the covers and just hope it goes away. But you know what? The longer that we've left this decision or left this situation, the bigger the energy has been rising, and it's just calling at you. What else does pile 3 need to know, please? Queen of Cups and the 5 of Cups. Deep within your heart, I think you know what you want, and I feel like you've been very emotionally unfulfilled with the 5 of Cups here. There could be very much a sense of looking at the spilt cups, because that's typically what this card represents, and not seeing that on the other side of this river, on the other side of this change, this potential difficulty, sometimes to get what we really, really want, we do have to go through difficulty. We do have to fight for it. We do have to work for it. And I don't want to say that in a way that, you know, when something's obviously not in alignment for us, but sometimes it's just that it requires effort and it requires work. And just because it isn't immediate and instant doesn't mean that it isn't meant for us. You know, being very in tune with what it is, the truth of your own heart, really tuning in and getting clear on your intuition now, on your deepest emotions. And this is what I was getting. I feel like emotionally, you know what you want. You know what you're being called to do, whether this is start a new business, whether this is to move in a new direction, whatever it is for you. And this could be a new beginning that occurs while you stay within a relationship. I don't want to just put the breakup scenario out there and just leave you with it. And obviously only take this if it's for you, if you're already feeling this. All readings are just a clarification of your own intuition, and they should only ever be used that way. Do not take it as I'm telling you what is going to happen to you, because that's not how these work at all. It is always to clarify your own intuition, your own messages that you've been receiving. So please, you know, just take what resonates. This is really, 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 really about tuning into your emotions and being honest with them, and not letting the distraction or the fear of disappointment or hard work getting in the way or put you off. Yeah, the curse. Wow. Oh, wow. Because there is this bloody huge potential here. We've got the Ace of Wands, the Star, and the Ten of Cups. Okay, everything that you want, everything that you have been dreaming of, potentially, there is this potential on the other side of this river. There are these two cups here. The Two of Cups always makes me think of soulmate energy, because of the Two of Cups, obviously. This is like everything you could have ever wanted. This is what these say. There is the potential. If you're going to light that match, if you're going to ignite that spark, if you're going to put in the energy and you're going to move towards it, the Ten of Cups doesn't come instantly. It doesn't just fall in your lap. You know, you might meet somebody and have that experience of the Ten of Cups. But truthfully, it can be a journey in order to get there. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't go after it. Excuse me, I just need some water. Definitely communicate your needs, your wants, your desires, your wishes, your dreams to the universe. Say them out loud. Go out and say them out loud under the full moon. Go write them down. Go write them down in a journal, and release them to the universe, or write them in a manifestation book. Be honest with them. Allow them to surface. Allow them to come to the surface and own them. I literally feel like this is what's coming for you. And we've got the Tower on the bottom of the deck. You could be worried about a Tower moment. You could be worried about everything changing in order so that you can embrace your passion. But what you're being told is that sometimes things have to end, and we have to put down these burdens and find our strength in order to get there. Seriously, like, I love when cards work like this, but this is what's coming through. Beneath the Veil of Sophia, and the fact that it's referencing your DNA, I'm just going to take this in a very literal sense, that this is you coming back to you. And I think that was the first thing I said when I turned this card over. This is you seeing beyond the veil and potentially within yourself at a deeper level than you've ever seen yourself before. Really accessing your own heart space and seeing and asking yourself, what do I want? Not what disappointment have I had in the past? Not affirming all the reasons why I can't have what I want because of what happened on the past. Telling yourself, allowing those emotions to surface, to rise. That is one of the key points of manifestation. You know, your faith and your thoughts and your dreams and your wishes and your hopes bigger than your fears and your anxieties and worries, and allowing that to surface from in the self. I'm going to get you a goddess message as a final message as to what you can is really going to assist you, because this is really beautiful energy. Okay. Goddess message for pile 3, please, Spirit. Kuan Yin, compassion. Interesting. And another one, please, Spirit. Oh, okay. I might not take those two, but I'll definitely take these two. Lilith, independence. Lakshmi, fortune. Kuan Yin, compassion. I think this is a reminder that you can master yourself and you can achieve all of these things. You can be independent and compassionate. You can be, you know, you can be wealthy and abundant and compassionate. You can do this independently. You can seek your own fortune independently. You don't have to rely or depend on anybody else. You can do this for yourself, of yourself, based on your heart's desire. And it doesn't mean that you have to do it alone, but it means that you can step out in the ways and do the things and be the person or the people that you want to be, and to just fully come into an alignment with self. And again, I want to emphasize, this doesn't mean at the sake of anybody else or eliminating anybody else. It just means that stepping into this energy for you and allowing it to be expressed. Let's take these two. I feel like these are more blockages. Yuki Anna, stillness, and Rhea, flow in the reverse. Yeah. Sometimes we just have to take a moment and just allow things to wash over us. Sometimes we have to take a moment and to just allow the universe to shift us, especially if things are changing and we might feel that we have no control, or we just have no ability to control what is going. You know, it's like trying to catch sand running between your fingers. It just flows through, and sometimes you have to let it fall into a pile on the floor, and then you know what, you can pick it up in something and you can do what you were going to do with the sand. That's a really interesting metaphor that's never come through before, but it's that kind of a sense of sometimes you have to let circumstances flow, you have to let things play out, and to be in that still centered energy, to be compassionate, independent, and in your own abundance while these things transpire, and know that you know, wherever you are, you will build upon it, and you're going to keep following that passion. You're going to ignite that spark and keep pursuing those dreams so you can get to your ultimate fulfillment. So pile 3, I'm going to end that there for you. I truly hope that resonated for you. I hope whichever pile you chose today has resonated for you. I appreciate that not everybody will see this ending, so you know, I'll keep it brief as I clear up, but I will say goodbye. Thank you very much for being here. I'm wishing you a really, really happy full moon wherever you are and whatever you decide to do. I hope the energy is illuminating for you. I hope it helps you shift in really positive ways, and I hope it can be a really positive time of personal growth for you. If you'd like a private reading or personal reading, please feel free to message me. They are available. All more information is available on my website. The link is in my bio. If you're watching this on Instagram, if you're on YouTube, the link should be in the description box below. But sending you all my love. Thank you very much for being here, and I will look forward to seeing you again in another reading. Take care. Bye bye.